Obby the person who's been stuck in my head. It's just some VTuber.
Okay. And
Hold on.
okay.
What do they look like?
Oh
She's
my
hot. She has a
god.
long face. She has a big ass head.
Oh
Anyways,
my god.
you see a shark?
Huh?
Kai Lang, sponsored by Cerberus. Templar Knight. That's just all I put. Backed by the Order of Silent Watch. Tank
Okay.
Dempsey from Black Ops. Asgore from Undertale, sponsored by the Monster King Correlation. Cyber Demon, fueled by Helltech,
Sick.
funded by Helltech. Spooky from Spooky's Jump Scares Mansion, backed by the Mansion. Greg.
Greg.
Not for the last name. Let me double check. Whatever, it's just gonna be Greg.
Okay. Who's it supposed to be?
Greg Heffley.
Yeah, okay, I thought so. It's just Greg.
Greg. I think I spelled Heffley wrong. I said whatever. I'll spell it right later.
Okay, then you just
I just
didn't.
forgot.
That's okay.
Terran, Terran Republic soldier, backed by Unified Command. Azrael Dreamer, a god of hyperdeath form, sponsored by Goat God Fan Club.
Cool.
Eminem with Minerva's body.
What?
It's not that funny.
No, I like that a lot.
I
That's
did
pretty
Emperor
funny.
Palpatine with Kiriko's body once.
Oh my,
That one was funny.
you
I
did? Oh wait, no.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
he
you
just died
did. I remember
immediately.
that. That's pretty funny.
I'm just funny. Just why am I in this body?
Yeah.
Where am I and who am I? Megatron.
Yay.
Basilisk from Harry Potter. Sponsored by Serpent Brotherhood.
The Brotherhood.
Rico Rodriguez, sponsored by Dictator Free Islands. Send the grappling hook. Squidward, sponsored by Bikini Bottom. Yoshi's Mushroom Kingdom. Your Ursula. Oceanic Cove. Myrick Skeleton. My
Malric.
Minecraft Skeleton Prince, backed by Pixels Nobles, Anglerfish and Shark and Fish.
Yep.
I don't know why that screwed up my eyes. The Oceanic Menagerie, The Trapper, sponsored by the Entity. Igloo of Flesh Survivors Roach Detective, sponsored by Bug Corp.
Okay.
Zombie that strikes at midnight. Okay, good thing I brought in Tank Dempsey.
Why?
Tank
Oh yeah,
Dempsey.
from Black Ops.
Yeah, he's this
Yeah.
character from Black Ops.
Yeah.
Truth Commander Shader Whitebeard. Sponsored by the New World Pirates.
True.
The bloodbath erupts in the courtyard beneath them. Tank Dempsey grabs an old musket and tackles Cyber Demon, who retaliates by crushing a nearby stone pillar, forcing Dempsey to flee through the main hall. Spooky instantly disappears in the walls, laughing with ghostly giggles.
Oh, this is going to become her domain.
Yeah, I just realized.
Yeah.
Greg, inexplicably confident, grabs a butter knife and rope. The trapper throws down two rusted bear traps before sneaking into the dungeon. Squidward panic. Sorry, I'm just thinking about that yesterday. I was like laughing at a wall. My manager was like, "What are you laughing at?"
Oh yeah. Yeah.
just like, I'm just losing my mind.
I
Squidward
thought I just
panics
saw
and
a
hides
pallet.
under what? Under a
Never
dining
mind.
table. Whitebeard grabs a halberd and bellows with laughter, heading towards the tower. Azrael
He
moves
has
gracefully
bellows.
cloaked. Azrael gracefully cloaked in gentle light, avoiding frights entirely. Yoshi eats raw fish off the floor and scampers into the barracks. Eminem raps in a high ancient tongue while casting mild barrier spells.
Alright.
The clash over a longsword, the basilisk is decapitated by a Templar knight who swiftly blesses the blade afterwards.
Damn.
The zombie that strikes at midnight awakens as the castle bell tolls, as claws through stone, mindlessly hungry before vanishing into the mist. It just leaves? It just
It
leaves
doesn't
the arena?
strike. Yeah.
Asgore tends to a small fire in the ruined chapel. Truth Commander Shader reads secret messages etched into the castle wall. Megatron sharpens his blade with sparks of resentment. Rico Rodriguez uses his grappling hook to perch high into the rafters. Ursula lurks into a moat. Singing yourself to herself quietly, Greg and Roach Detective form a fragile alliance. Minecraft Skeleton Prince fires a bony arrow that grazes Kai Lang, who disappears behind a wall of tapestry. Spooky sets up an ambush of illusionary Funarcher. Her victim, the Tarian Republic soldier, who sits down on a cursed throne and implodes in a puff of velvet dust. He just
Whoa.
died.
Yeah. Exploded.
Tank Dempsey and Cyberdemon clash again. This time in an armory, Dempsey manages to detonate a black powder keg, badly injuring the Cyberdemon, who flees into the catacombs. Whitebeard drinks his sake atop a highest tower, roaring sea shanties to the moon. Azrael cradles the music box. Squidward, depressed and cold, plays a soft dirge on his clarinet dagger.
Music's
The
time.
trapper captures a shark from the anglerfish and fish group. Why did you word it like that? In one of his traps, leaving it thrashing until sunrise.
Wait, which one got captured?
The shark out of the trios.
Oh, okay. Damn. The most powerful one.
Alright, it's been pissing me off, so I reworded some things real quick. Day
Okay.
3. Eminem and Minerva's body attempts. Actually, event. Cursed bell tolls. Ancient bell, for the first time in century, echoes throughout the fortress. The sounds laced with eldritch magic. A shudder runs through the ground. The following changes unfold for 2 days and 2 nights. The dungeon walls shift and rearrange. Shadows move independently, attacking life sources and creating pockets of blindness. Magic and blind tech are unstable, randomly backfiring. Spectral knights now roam the halls, attacking anyone on sight.
Shit.
Eminem attempts a ritual with the ancient bell tome. Tomes sent by sponsors. Oh, she already got something from sponsors, apparently. But the cursed magic bell destabilizes the spell. It backfires, hurling him against the stone column. He survives barely, but his body glows with volatile energy. Whitebeard descends. Is it male or female then? Whitebeard descends. Yeah.
Male.
In this case. Okay.
It's Eminem.
I know that, but it's in Minerva's body. Descends from a
Eminem.
tower, sword drawn. Battling 3 spectral knights, he cleaves them apart with a titanic force, screaming madly. This castle trembles underneath each blow. Spooky, now even more powerful in cursed darkness, sets up a haunted nursery trap in the east wing. Rico becomes lost in the shifting dungeons, tethering his grappling hook to random beams just to keep orientation. He stumbles into Cyberdemon, who's still smoldering from Dempsey's attack earlier. They both glare, but agree to silently avoid contact. The trapper, confident in the shadows, places traps in the banquet hall. Ursula, swimming through the waterlogged stairwell, nearly triggers one before dissolving into ink and slipping past it. Yoshi, scared and alone, accidentally eats a glowing mushroom in panic. He begins levitating.
Whoa.
The zombie that strikes at midnight emerges again, and now empowered with the cursed bell, it howls at the castle's paintings and weeps He hurls at the castle, and the paintings weep blood. Bleh. Squidward now cornered by one of the spectral knights. He screams and flails as his clarinet that are narrowly escaping, but smashing a stained glass window. Okay, why am I being dyslexic? Narrowly escaping by smashing the stained glass window and jumped into the moat, his clarinet now chipped. Greg and Roach Detective are ambushed by Truth Commander Shader, who declares, "You both know too much," and unleashes a blinding flash grenade into the chaos. Roach bites Shader's ankle, giving Greg enough time to drag his friend away. Azrael glows with a sense of energy.
Yeah.
Spectres avoid him. Megatron, frustrated by the lack of his power, throws down his blade and begins using his fist instead, punching through a stone wall into the old treasury. Inside, he finds a throne made of swords. He claims it loudly. Megatron rules this castle now. Templar Knight, stoic as ever, begins hunting down the corrupted entities. He slays shadow-possessed Wolf with his silver-blessed mace. Tank Dempsey finally finds Cyber Demon again. The two will fight savagely in a hallway filled with dangling chains and suits of armor. Dempsey sets fire to the floor using oil, forcing the demon to leap out the window, vanishing into the mist again. Anglerfish, seeking revenge for his shark friend, ambushes Greg while he's looting. Roach Detective sacrifices himself by jumping into the fish's mouth and exploding a torch, burning them both alive.
Damn. The anglerfish or the fish?
They, I assume it's the anglerfish.
Okay.
Ursa slithers into the same chamber as Asgore singing a melancholic lullaby. He listens silently and offering tea. The two agree not to kill each other for tonight. Kai Lang sneaks through the keep, now donning broken spectral armor. He watches Rico Rodriguez sleep from a distance. Spooky is giddy as the bell nears its final toll. She dances through the haunted nursery, luring Truth Commander Shader inside. The mobile above crib spins unnaturally, and the door slams shut behind him. Eminem begins to levitate uncontrollably as well, spiraling into a cursed bell tower, his Minerva-shaped body now crackling with unstable light.
Yeah.
The zombie that strikes at midnight is vaporized at dawn, after the bell's curse ended. It couldn't survive the daylight. Yep, Anglerfish died in Cyber Demon while leaping from a burned hallway, impaled on a rusted weather vane, and bled out before midnight.
So it was.
And Truth Commander Shader. It was the Anglerfish. Truth Commander Shader trapped and consumed by illusions in Spooky's haunted nursery. No, the anglerfish blew up with the roach.
Oh.
He blew himself up inside the anglerfish's mouth.
Yeah. So then what just happened? Just now.
What do you mean? Oh, Cyber Demon leaped from a burning hallway and it got impaled on a weather vane and bled out.
What happened with the anglerfish?
It blew up because the roach jumped inside of it and blew up.
But you said anglerfish again after that, or am I crazy?
You said, "Oh, he must have just bled out," because I read that, and that's what you said, and I said, "No, anglerfish."
What did you read? What did you read out?
Anglerfish burned alive alongside Roach Detective.
Okay, got it. Sorry.
Eminem's and Minerva's body receives a glowing orb. It contains the lyrics that burn into his mind, magically incantations hidden within the rhyme.
Whoa.
Holy shit, that's rhyming itself.
Yeah.
His mind levitates. He levitates slightly as the orb sinks into his chest. Greg, alone now after Roach's death, finds a gift box with a hoodie, beef jerky, and a mirror from Mom. The tag reads, Spooky receives a cursed Jack-in-the-Box that plays a tune only audible to her. She dances to it, skipping across the bloodstained tiles. Rico Rodriguez gets a retractable bolo launcher from his sponsor. He grins immediately as he's immediately using it to snare a wild goose for dinner. Okay. As Azrael receives a note that says your kindness is your weapon and a golden flower. Oh, it's a Flowey reference.
Yeah, makes sense.
Squid receives a second clarinet.
Yeah.
Yoshi, still levitating slightly from his mushroom incident, receives a satchel of pepper bombs. He eats one. Ursula receives a vial of cursed ink. She grins wickedly and rubs it against her skin. She's a squid. An octopus. Kai Lang gets spectral boots for stealth. He smiles and silently vanishes from view. Whitebeard gets a tiny-shaped bandage roll in a barrel of sake. He drinks half of it immediately and tosses the rest out the window. Tank Dempsey receives a single bullet.
Wow. How helpful.
Templar Knight receives only a scroll. Faith sustains, do not falter. Okay, that one makes sense.
Yeah.
Spooky sets up for another illusion trap, this time a warm fireplace and a meal. Yoshi floats in and bites into the phantom food, immediately collapsing into a coma.
Damn.
Kai Lang corners Eminem in an observatory. They clash, rap magic versus stealth. Blah, 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 blah. Kai gets a deep stab, but Eminem releases a sonic incantation that collapses the floor. Both vanish into a dark void. Templar Knight finds Squidward, exhausted and playing dirges. They talk surprisingly. The knight listens. They part without violence. Tank Dempsey climbs into chapel and prays silently. He loads a single bullet into his revolver and waits in the rafters. Whitebeard dreams deeply of the sea. Greg emboldened sets up makeshift traps using wire and silverware. He manages to injure Megatron, who had been marching through the kitchen like he owned it. Furious, Megatron chases him, but Greg escapes. Azrael approaches Ursula, hoping to negotiate peace. Ursula smiles, praises his innocence, and tries to drown him.
Holy shit.
Azrael nearly escapes, but loses his flower. Rico, swinging on a chandelier, tries to assassinate Spooky, but instead lands on Tank Dempsey, who's hiding in the rafters. All three crash to the floor. Dempsey groans as he aims a gun, but doesn't fire. Megatron, raging, finally confronts Kai Lang, who is limping from earlier with the duel from Eminem. They fight briefly, but it ends quickly when Megatron crushes him against a wall. Spooky returns to her nursery. Yes.
Yeah.
Spooky returns to the nursery room, now half burned, and finds a music box that has stopped playing. Azrael plays a soft lullaby on the flute he made from broken bone. Templar Knight burns incense and recites a hymn, or hymn. Greg, now nearly feral, watches the firelight from a hidden vent. Eminem stumbles into the darkness, barely alive but glowing faintly. The spell he cast during the duel has fractured his mind. He begins rapping backwards tongues. Ursula stalks the moat tunnels, whispering deals to no one. Yoshi died in a coma. Kylan got crushed to death.
Okay, she's dead.
"15 tributes are still alive, and it's only chapter 4. Cat, elusive and unpredictable, is presumed to be hiding. Templar Knight is still on a holy mission. Tank Dempsey, Balworn still dangerous. Asgore, calm, wise, and avoiding conflict. Spooky, delight in the chaos. Greg is still alive. Azrael, Eminem, Megatron, Rico, Squidward, Ursula, Minecraft Skeleton Prince is lurking in the silence, waiting to strike. The Trapper is still placing traps.
Oh, yeah.
Whitebeard is aging but a mercilessly powerful looming force. Greg, climbing a broken ladder shaft, watches in awe as the tower crumbles in the distance. His hands are now bleeding, but his resolve has never been stronger. Spooky weaves through the falling debris like a specter. She almost is dancing as the rocks crush the corridors behind her. Templar Knight tries to hold up a collapsing archway to help Asgore through. They escape, but barely. The knight's shoulder gets dislocated. The Asgore blows his head in with a bows his head and
Oh,
thanks. It says
okay.
blows in his head as a
Yeah.
thanks. Like he just like crushes his skull.
That'd be funny.
That's like an Albert Wesker type of move.
True.
No, actually, no, that's not even that bad. Albert Wesker would like push him back in, just trip him as he's holding the collapsing tunnel.
Yeah. Some petty.
Megatron watches the collapse from his throne room. He bells, "This castle is mine!" before the ceiling crushes half the room. He survives, but is pinned underneath the rubble with one arm broken.
Okay.
Cat is spotted briefly on a ledge, writing something in a notebook. She then vanishes as the ledge crumbles. Eminem climbs into a bell tower again, casting a twisted spell of rhythm. The tower begins to vibrate, cracks forming up the spine. Whitebeard, laughing, rides, falling debris to another platform. He's having fun. Reminds me of Marineford.
Oh yeah, that's like a bit military base.
Mm-hmm. Squidward, coughing through the smoke, finds Azrael. Instead of fighting, the two sit down and share silence. Ursula slips through the moat tunnels, only to find Skeleton Prince, who bows silently but aims his bow. Ursula hurls ink, but the arrow finds her throat. Asgore and Templar Knight reach out the castle's chapel, now half submerged. A knight kneels and mutters one final prayer before tossing aside his dented helmet. He knows the end is near. Greg finds Tank Dempsey, both bruised and bone weary. They share jerky in silence before parting ways. Again, there's no friendship here, only survival. Rico springs a trap, but evades it with luck. Springs a trap. It makes it sound like he did it.
Oh yeah.
Rico steps in a trap, but evades it with luck. He slips into old kitchens looking for water. The trapper, now in the ruined library, seems to be waiting, watching, his eyes not blinking. Eminem, still in the bell tower, begins a full ritual. Lightning crackles. The words explode into reverse, but the tower cannot bear the magic and explodes, hurling his glowing body down to the central courtyard.
Whoa.
Megatron, pinned and bleeding, is approached by Spooky. She whispers something into his audio sensors. His eyes dim and he says nothing. Cat is
Damn.
spotted again, standing in the moonlight among ruins, now holding a flaming torch. Still, she does not speak. Now, with the ink on his hands, Skeleton Prince strings another arrow. The game is not over. Whitebeard challenges Tank Dempsey in the courtyard. Steel clashes, but a single bullet is fired. Whitebeard catches it in his forearm. Holy sh! And laughs. Good shot. How does he catch it in his forearm? Did he just took it?
I assume so. Yeah, he's like big. He's a beefy guy.
Ursa got shot. Eminem was killed with the bell tower. Megatron succumbed to his injuries and psychological defeat.
Yeah.
Kai Lang's dead. Yes, we know.
Wait, Eminem's dead?
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense.
He blew up.
Yeah, I know.
Cat, Templar Knight, Tank. If Cat wins, I'm not allowing that.
Who's Cat?
It's just a VTuber.
Oh yeah, right.
I'm not. OB Kate Cat is what it'd be.
Yeah.
Rob K. Cat. Templar Knight, Tank Dempsey, Asgore, Spooky, Greg, Azrael, Rico, Squidward, and Minecraft Skeleton Prince are the last remaining. Where is Whitebeard?
True.
He. Okay. Whitebeard, Cat, Tank Dempsey, Templar Knight, Asgore, Azrael, Spooky, Greg, Skeleton Prince, and the Trapper. One, two,
Okay.
three.
Trapper.
Okay, there we are. Yeah, okay. I specified Whitebeard is alive. Also, remember, oh yeah, Trapper's also alive.
Yeah.
Says Azrael. Whatever.
Didn't it say Azrael?
I said Asgore.
Yeah.
Oh, Azrael is also there. I'm just losing my mind. Um, Greg stalks a hall, grinning wildly. Asgore, feeling the end burn his final healing tea in the ritual, heads towards the cathedral, spear in hand. Templar Knight limps towards the cathedral. He finds a dying soldier in the corner, possibly a hallucination, and offers a blessing. Tank Dempsey punches through Rebel in order to open up a shortcut. Spooky glides towards the cathedral, drawn in a final drama like moth to the fire. Skeleton Prince stands on top of the bell tower, remains watching all. One arrow left. Whitebeard, cloak burning, sword in one hand, bandages unraveling from the other, walks through the fire like a titan. Cathedral ruins are flooded in the pale moonlight. Flooded in pale moonlight and broken stained glass shards. Echoes of old hymns whisper in the wind. Asriel is first. He sits in the center, eyes closed. The trapper steps from behind the crumbled altar and throws a bear trap at him.
Holy shit.
He
That's crazy.
doesn't even set the trap, he just chucks
Yeah,
it.
he just throws it. That's awesome.
Kate Cat appears from the shadows and stabs Trapper through the back, her first confirmed kill. Why does
Damn.
okay, I'm surprised it specified that.
True.
Asriel, startled, thanks her, and then sudden arrow pierces his chest. A Skeleton Prince, emotionless,
Oh, yeah.
knocks another. Greg Furious tackles Skeleton Prince from behind and beats his skull in with a sponsored Mirror's Shard. Spooky tries to pull Greg into the shadow trap. He resists, but not for long. He's dragged into darkness screaming. Tank
Everyone's
Dempsey,
just killing
Whitebeard,
each
Templar
other.
Knight, Spooky, Asgore, and Omnicat remain.
Who?
Obi Cat, or Kate
No,
Cat.
like who are all the people?
Tank Dempsey, Whitebeard, Templar Knight, Spooky, Asgore, and Cat.
Cool.
Templar Knight faces Spooky. She cackles and hurls illusions, but the knight walks through the fire with eyes closed, mace raised. He shatters her with a divine blow, dissipating her into a violent mist. Good riddance.
Yeah.
Tank Dempsey finally meets Asgore. No hard feelings, Dempsey mutters as he lunges. They fight bitterly. Asgore pierces him through the heart,
Damn.
and Tank Dempsey's final words are "hell of a run." Cat tries to grab Asgore from behind, but hesitates. Asgore turns sudden. She drops a knife. From above, uh, Whitebeard lands with enough force to cause a shockwave, cracking the floor. Templar Knight, Asgore, and Whitebeard stand in a triangle. The final duel begins.
All right.
I assume Cat dies from.
From
Okay,
somehow.
no, she's not winning. She got crushed to death. There's not. She's didn't. Okay.
Okay.
It says she won. I scrolled down to see,
Oh,
like,
it
did
said
she
she
die in that?
won.
Because yeah, and I just see winner Obi Cat. No, she's dead.
Yeah.
Okay, so Whitebeard would. Okay. From above, Whitebeard lands with enough crashing shockwave, cracking the floor. Templar Knight, Asgore, and Whitebeard stand in a triangle. The final duel begins. Templar Knights fight with Holy Fury, Hammer meeting Bissino. Whitebeard roars. The knight slams through the stone, killed instantly. Asgore stands tall, spear in hand. You are strong, he tells Whitebeard. Whitebeard says, let's end it. Their duel is thunderous. Asgore pierces Whitebeard's ribs. Whitebeard severs Asgore's beard. Blows exchanging to a grah.
I love that they're the
He,
last two. That makes a lot of
he
sense.
punches the earth, sending a quake through the ruins. Asgore is thrown back, impaled on a broken pillar. He dies with a peaceful smile. And
Hell
it,
yeah.
it says, like, on the cat, or the cat who walks into the center of the cathedral. Whitebeard bloody turns to her and Is that you?
Yeah.
What?
Huh?
Because
What does it say?
it says, "Will you challenge me?" She shakes her head. I never wanted to win.
And then
And then
she's
Whitebeard just like tries to kill her. He lifts his blade, but the cat moves quickly and stabs him in the stomach, and Whitebeard dies. But that's
oh
bullshit because he falls, and I assumed the way it was worded is that he falls just right on top of her, crushing her to
yeah.
death.
I thought
And
yeah.
so I'm like, okay, that's badass. Apparently, she just ran off without it telling me. I'm
I
not
see.
doing that. That Whitebeard wins that fight.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, we're having Whitebeard win because that's just bullshit. If it was something cool, or if I knew the character, I might want to argue it. But that was just lame.
I agree.